Hello, my little ponies. I'm Starlight, and today I am reviewing Twilight's Kingdom. And before I go any further, as some of you know, I was a fan of Generation 1. If you haven't seen Generation 1, you should go check it out. It's similar to Generation 4. The characters don't have as much personalities, but it's still a good watch. And my favorite villain was Turek. I loved this guy when I was a kid. You have to understand, I was one of those kids that when I went to Disney World, I hugged Maleficent. I'm not kidding. I seriously have a picture of me in a photo album when I was at Disney World, shutting Snow White and hugging Maleficent. She was awesome. I love villains. In kids shows, they often usually have, they're usually either the most interesting or the most undeveloped characters. But Trebek was my favorite. I'm probably slaughtering his name, even though he was my favorite. I can never pronunciate his name right. And so this will just give you a little leeway on towards how I felt towards the episode. So let's go on and have me talk about Twilight's Kingdom, both Part 1 and Part 2. Now, the beginning, well, it wasn't hard to sit through. It's just, Twilight was whining. Oh dear Lord. I don't know what it's like to be a real princess. All I do is smile and wave, smile and wave. Dude, or dudette, Twilight, you have saved Equestria like 6 times now. Okay, how many times have we seen Princess Celestia save the kingdom? Once, and it was in a flashback. We don't even know if it was tampered with or anything. So, yes. So, Twilight needs to get off her high horse because it doesn't matter if she's a princess or not. She was clearly... and another thing, I understand now why they kept Twilight princessy-ness to a minimum, due to the fact that if she is going to have problems dealing with being a princess because she doesn't feel like a real princess, it makes sense that they would want to have her princessiness kept down to a minimum, so that way then it helps set up for this. So far, we've only really seen foals and when she's actually being a dignitary to get recognized as a princess. Okay, so that's just a little nitpick, because let's face it, it took up 5 minutes of her whining, and it helped forge on the plot. And as I said, they brought back my favorite villain of all times, and we also had Discord in this episode. Awesome. Now, just another little nitpick here. It would have been awesome if instead of Discord, it would have been Spike he brought over to the evil side, because that's how it was in Generation 1. But I can understand why they chose Discord, and him taking over any of the main characters to the evil side is a nice nod towards what he was like in the past. So I'm good. Also, I'd be very interested in to know if the fact that because in the original show, it was said that he was sent to Tartarus. So, who knows? Maybe the previous generations were canon. I don't know. But it is cool. And so, yeah. At first, I was a little bummed out when I saw him, the villain, Korvac, because he didn't really look like the guy I remember. In case you haven't seen the first generation, he was usually always sitting in this big throne, colossal thing. Like, he made dragons look small. and he was often kept in the shadows. And so when they revealed his face so casually, it kind of upsetted me. But, I suppose it was alright, and the fact that he kind of looked more like a monkey. But as time went on, and he gained more power, and he grew more, he began to look more like the Kozak that I remember. And I was very happy with this. It does in fact show that he's gaining back his power. I was very happy with him in the end. Now, the whole princesses transferring power, that was cool, but it would have been awesome to have had them lose their alicornness. You know, like, Princess Cadence turned back into a Pegasus or whatnot until their magic got given back to them, but I suppose that would go against the whole Celestia and Luna born as alicorns. But it would have had an interesting tidbit to finally solve a problem that us fans have been bickering about for ages. You know? And so, yeah. I love this episode. It was awesome. And then we finally got the all-important plot device, that little box thing, to open up. And it rainbow-fied them. Hasbro, buy our toys. Look how pitiful and colorful they are. Look how their wings have colors on them. Look how shiny and rainbowness they are. You must buy them now. But at least it's not a permanent change. At least they are going to be able to look like their normal selves. Yeah, not a fan of the rainbowification thing. And do they get new elements, or do they just turn into that whenever they need it? Guessing from the Equestria Girls rocker one, they turn into it whenever they want. And Twilight has a new castle! Bullocks! I was really hoping she would move into the Everfree. Do you have any idea how much that messes up my headcanon? Bullocks. But it's fine, although let's face it, the castle basically screams, buy our toys. Let's face it, that is what it is. It's buy our new castle. Now, only $19.99. But yeah, I love this. I know I've been saying a lot of negative things, but it was awesome to see Sorbeck. And this is the best paced two-parter yet. Oh my god. They have finally learned how to pace a two-parter correctly. There was not a single lagging moment that I can think of. And I've seen it like 6 times now. The pacing was impeccable. Discourse, as always, was fantastic. He was hilarious. I laughed just about all the time he was on. I even cried a little bit when he was confronted with Fluttershy. And, yeah. It was nice. I loved it, but, yeah. The rainbowification thing kind of, it makes them look stupid, okay? It makes them look stupid. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love the episode. It has some fantastic parts. Fluttershy was adorable as always. Rarity was nice, and we got confirmed that those little rainbowification things were in fact keys. But so I'm guessing Twilight isn't actually the princess of magic. She's the princess of friendship, which means that maybe her element isn't actually the element of magic. It's the element of friendship, which would make sense because her lesson wasn't about magic. It was about friendship. Okay, that's all I have to say on the matter. Starlight Pony shining out, and don't forget to subscribe.